Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in this gospel, bro, looking at the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick little in transit through the spirit. I've been kind of watching some things. And you know, the scriptures say, watch and therefore pray, you know, and when I mean watch, meaning, you know, the prophecies, and as well watching out for these perverse doctrines and damnable heresies, man, and the action of men in this thing, man, because, you know, the Lord called us watchmen, you know, according to Isaiah 62:6. He says, I was set upon a tower, he said, roughly paraphrasing Isaiah 62:6. It says, I have set watchmen upon thy towers, O Jerusalem, which should never hold their peace, day nor night. Okay, and they that make mention of the Lord hold not peace until you make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. So, you know, we watch for the prophetic things, you know, like the MOTB, World War III, which these things are imminently coming upon the earth, man. As this is the year of Jacob's trouble, hopeful Jacob's trouble. Let me correct that, because last thing you need, somebody, you said Jacob's trouble was going to be this year. It ain't happened, you know. Scoffers and scorners and reprobates look for any attempt to accuse us of being false prophets. So we have to watch what we say. Okay. But no, man, I seen a few videos yesterday of brothers. Salaki, Esau messing with my feed. Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, he's messing with the feed. But I saw the Apostle Gabar's video at the beginning, and I believe it was his other brother. He goes by the name of Children of Israel. Esau is really messing with the stream, but he goes by the name of Children of Israel. And he did a video basically on Sakari Group, how they're selling the Passover. And this is not the first time we've seen stuff like that. Like, you know, for my short time I've been in the truth, I've seen, you know, camps promote their Passover in a very worldly manner. Okay, from the IUIC to the ISUPK, selling plates, $200 of tickets, you know, all this other bullshit. But it seems like they seem to forget the commonality or the true proverbial meaning or the solemnity of the Passover, man. Like when you go into that word solemn, it goes into like a serious, okay, something that's more serious, more tranquil type. And when you look at the Yahweh Shai's Passover with the 12, which is called the Last Supper, that wasn't any partying going on in that ordeal. Okay, in fact, that was a solemn assembly, because this is our Lord's Passover. So Yahweh Shai was in a very sorrowful spirit, because he knew that his time to be given up was at hand, and for him to depart and take on the sins for the nation of Israel. Okay, so with that type of mindset, you understand that the severity of the things that Yahweh Shai was getting ready to go through, man. You know, but these other groups, they're not seeming to focus on the severity of that, because, you know, it's all about mirth and fun and bread and circus and all these other gimmicks that our Lord didn't tell us to engage in, man. You know, it's like every high holy day is fun, turn up, concert. And I was listening to the video, and this guy said, oh, you gonna get your personal waiter, this and that. Like the Passover has basically become a 5-star event, you know. And it's not even that hard. It's just simple, you know. You get with a couple of brothers, you know. If you got bigger camps, then you break up, you know, the different brothers that live in the vicinity. And to the point, brothers really should be knowing how to do their own Passover, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point, you should be able to do your own Passover in your own house. Like, be honest with you, you ain't got to come together with your group or with your camp. But brothers do it because for the sake of tradition, and we know Yahweh Shai came together with the 12, man. You know, but each and every brother that's been in this thing for about a year should know how to do their own Passover, man. Should understand the services. But, you know, that's not always the case. So therefore we come together as a group and do it. Like, for example, my camp, we simple with it, man. You know, just like I was taught back in Chicago via the elders in Chicago, and the apostles on down, you know, you do the Shabbat services. You got your bitter herb, you got the lamb, you got the wine, you got the unleavened bread. You do the services, you go through it, the Shabbat services, and bam, do what you do and make it quick, and bam, partake in the Passover, man. You know, then what is called the Feast of Unleavened Bread is still the Passover ceremony, because it's a weekly period, or it's a weekly process, not a weekly process, but it takes place over a course of a week. Okay, and you can read about that in Exodus, the 12th chapter, the Passover services, man. I believe it goes into it in Numbers as well. But nonetheless, man, you know, Yahushua didn't command us to have bottle girls or have any type of extravagant feasts and stuff like that, because it's not about that. Okay, it's not about that at all. But in fact, it's about serving Yahushua, man, and doing what's right. Okay, being in a solemn mindset, because we know that the Passover upon the departure of Egypt, that was a very solemn assembly, because we had to do it in haste. You know, the Lord told us, he says, gird up our loins, you know, have our staffs about us with our shoes on our feet, so we can eat the Passover in haste, because the Lord was getting ready to destroy those Egyptians and send the plagues. You know, and how much more today in modern day Egypt. But Jake is playing around, man, and honestly speaking, the way things are going in 2024, this is not the Passover to fuck around with, man. You know, and just my personal opinion. I feel like something big is going to transpire after Passover, man. I think the Lord is going to start speeding this thing up, because, I mean, over the Super Bowl, I believe like it was over like 100 or some Palestinians, according to Esau, that died, and they expelled a lot of those Palestinians out of the land of Israel, and I believe they sent them like to Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. You know, which pretty much put the Egyptian army on, or the military on high alert. You know, which basically that's the declaration of war. You see, but yet, you know, all these things are happening in the world. We got a solar eclipse, I believe, that's going to transpire in April. I believe like April 8th, if I'm not mistaken. And I know that the small hats, they keep their Passover around April. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, this is not the time to be playing games with the Lord, man. Okay, because I know back in 2020, a lot of groups wasn't able to keep their Passover because the lockdowns came, and they decided to keep their Passover off the notion of the small hats, man, when we kept ours according to the new moon. Or when I say the new moon, meaning the lunar calendar, so to speak. You know? What's so weird? I didn't see none of these shops here yesterday. But yeah, we keep ours according to the biblical calendar, which they told time and seasons according to the moon. So we go off the what they call the lunar Shabbat, so to speak. The new moon being the new moon Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we tell time, through the Spirit. And you know what? They haven't led us wrong all this time. And the Lord allowed us to escape the woes of Esau during that time, man, because that's when the shutdowns came back in 2020. And the Lord, he spared a lot of brothers from that nonsense, because they was pushing hard with that, trying to mandate brothers put things in their bodies, and, you know, they wanted to fire brothers from their jobs and all this other shit, man. And the Lord allowed us to make it through that without getting touched, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But you other groups, you can't say that, because you lost members in your other groups due to that, man. You know, and I'm not trying to say, oh, well, that's because you guys didn't keep the Passover on the right day. But overall, it's the mindset and the spirit you're supposed to be in, man. Okay? You're supposed to be in the spirit of being solemn. Okay? Being sincere about this thing. It's not about playing games or, you know, making yourself look good and all this other shit. And when I noticed what the guy said, he said that it's going to be like a 1-year anniversary that he debated somebody. But back in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, why is this Passover about you? Why is the attention on you and not Yahushua? Okay, why is everybody, you know what I'm saying, going to your Passover, and yeah, you gonna be the top guy that everybody looks up to, like you just this grand chief priest? You know what I'm saying? And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, this dude, that's basically a cult of personality. And if you look that up, Apostle Gabar goes into that all the time, a cult of personality. You know, when you put yourself on a, like you're a God deity almost, man. You have this personality that you have this God complex about yourself, and yet the whole world's supposed to come under you and bow down to you. You know, you see that with these leaders of these other groups, and this is how you know that they're not the men of the Lord. Okay, you're not going to catch Yahushua or any of the prophets partaking in some madness on Passover, man. Okay, yeah, now where they may go into the account of Josiah's Passover, yeah, you know, you had the best Passover in Israel. Yeah, that was for a particular time at that time, because you had to understand the dynamic of what was going on, but we ain't in those times right now. Now in the kingdom, hey, you know, the Passovers, it may be thing of you know, of some type of feast, but because we're going to be celebrating the deliverance of this place, but at the same time, it ain't going to be no folly though, man. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be engaging in this worldly shit, like inviting heathens to Passover. Sarnetta, why do he needs to come to a Passover? Whack 100. You know, guys, I don't even believe, man. Unbelievers in your Passover, that's worse than the man not being circumcised in the ancient world, partaking in the Passover, man. You know? So, Lord is getting ready to bring a lot of judgment on a lot of these Israelite groups, man. You brothers out there, man, just stand on post and watch, man. Watch how the Lord vindicates his true men and how he's going to put the sword to a lot of these other guys, because they're not playing fair in this thing, man. You know? This is GMS rulership 13, GMS 13 rulership. Shalom, brother. This is Matthew 23:1. It says, then Yahushua spoke to the multitude and to his disciples, and saying, the scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seats, and all therefore whatever say they bid you to observe, that observe and do, but do ye not their works, for they say and do not right. He told you to do what they say because they were telling you to do the correct thing, so to speak, like keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and put no other gods over the Lord, and keep the high holy days. They was telling you to do these things, but they themselves was not partaking in these things, or at least in sincerity. Okay, so that just kind of like madness, in my opinion. I mean, I guess these guys have no fear of the Lord, but then they turn around and say, oh, you guys at GMS, you're hating. No, we're not hating. Okay, because if we wanted to throw some badass Passovers, we can very well do that, but it's really not about that. Okay, this thing is about where your mind is, your mindset, your spirit is at, and clearly a lot of you guys ain't playing with a spiritual deck at all, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Lord really busts this thing open and vindicate his men, and pretty much put down these false prophets out here that's going to get a lot of you Israelites out. A lot of you Israelites going to get fucked up by following these guys, man. Mark my words. But anyway, I'm going to end it here, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Lord's will, you brothers and you few sisters that may watch were edified into the next lesson. Shalom. May the Lord be with you, brothers. Shalom.